Next, for step 5, creating your categories, subcategories, and tags. For this step, you'll definitely want to allow yourself some time because this is where you'll be setting up the content of your site. Provided below this video is a detailed explanation about categories, subcategories, and tags that I highly recommend reading through before setting them up. Let's begin with setting up some categories. When creating your categories, you want to think about the types of items, services, or rentals that your providers will be selling, and you want to think about them in the broadest terms. So for this tutorial, I'm going to be using a product style marketplace that sells gently used items. One of my categories can be clothing. So let's do that. Let's make one of these categories clothing. So when you receive your site, you'll notice that there are 3 default categories in there. You can either delete them or simply edit them. We'll edit them. So I said clothing was my first category. To save, hit enter. My second category, what else is going to be sold on my marketplace? Shoes is another one. So we'll edit, enter shoes. And my third category can be handbags. And a fourth category can be jewelry. So to add a new category, I just simply type the category name here under add new or next to add new category. Click add category, and you'll see that it's added to the list. Now for a service style marketplace that, let's say, offers tutoring services, the categories can be outlined by subject, so math, science, English. For a rental style marketplace, the categories can be broken down by the types of rentals. So for like an Airbnb style, the categories can be like full house, single room, shared room, etc. Now let's move forward and create some subcategories. So the subcategory's purpose is to further define the category. So each subcategory will link to one or more of your categories. So taking a look at my categories, we'll start with clothing. What I want to think about is what other descriptors would define an item of clothing. Maybe the type of item of clothing, so we can break it down by dresses, pants, tops. Going down the list to shoes, how can I further break down the category shoes? Maybe the type of shoe, so high heels, flats, sneakers, sandals. So you want to think about that for each of your categories here, and those would become your subcategories. So those further descriptors. To add subcategories, we'll click on subcategories, and you'll type the name of the subcategory you want to add. So we'll start with dresses. Click on add subcategory. You'll notice it gets added to the subcategory list here on the left. Click on the subcategory and you'll notice the categories populate. This is where you'll select the categories that you want to link the subcategory to. So if I want to link dresses to clothing, just click on the category and it'll gray out. If you want to unlink a subcategory, just simply click on the X and it will unhighlight. And you can select multiple categories to link to your subcategories. And we'll continue adding more. So dresses, another one can be just thinking about the category clothing, tops. Click on the subcategory, link it, and continue adding more. Do pants next, add subcategory, click on it, link the category, and you'll continue doing those same steps and adding each and every one of your subcategories and linking them to the relatable or related categories. Once you've added and linked all of your subcategories, you'll have a long list of subcategories. You can click on each individual one to check how they're linked, or you can also go to the Overview tab, click on the category, and in the subcategories list, you'll see the subcategories that are linked to that category. Now we're ready to set up the tags. And just like these subcategories' purpose is to further define the category, the tags further define these subcategories. So each tag will link to one or more of your subcategories. And when creating tags, you want to think about how you can further break down the subcategories. What descriptors further define those? So I'm in the overview view, looking at my category clothing with its subcategories. One of those descriptors could be the material. So those tags would be cotton, lace, leather, etc. Another descriptor could be style. So those tags would be formal, casual, athletic. Another example could be fit. So sleeveless, long sleeve, over the knee, A-line would be those tags. So you would perform that exercise looking at each one of your categories and their linked subcategories. And you'll notice, for example, with materials, you'll notice that some of those tags that you create, like leather, for example, can also link to shoes, to all of the subcategories under the category shoes. Now, when looking at jewelry, let's see, some of those descriptors could be maybe the make, or like the metal, so silver, copper, bronze, gold, 14 karat gold, etc. Those are those descriptors that you want to create as your tags. So to create tags, you'll click on the tag section and you'll type in the tags. So we'll start with the materials. I'm going to do cotton first. Click add tag. You'll see it populate here. You'll click there and then you'll select the subcategories that you want to link to this tag cotton. So that would be dresses, tops, pants, skirts, jackets. I don't think boots can be cotton. So going down here, let's see. I think that's good. So then we'll type in another one. We'll add a new tag, another tag. So we'll do leather. Add tag, click within it, and we'll select the subcategories that will link to the tag leather. And as you can see, the tag leather can actually link to much more subcategories than the tag cotton. And you'll continue to add tags until you've added all of them. After you've added all of your tags, you can click on the individual tags to see which subcategories they're linked to, or that the tag is linked to, or you can go to the Overview tab, click on the category and the individual subcategories to view what tags you've linked to that subcategory. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you definitely want to allow yourself some time when setting up your categories, subcategories, and tags, as it is the content of your site. So I highly recommend looking at other websites that are similar to your site, looking at Amazon, looking at Etsy, looking at other service or rental sites, and looking at how they've set up their categories, subcategories, and tags. Going to their browse page and checking out how they've set it up, that can start giving you ideas on the best way to set up your own site.